Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it's time for my client Ted's vlog. And a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you are not following me or subscribed yet, please do so. And drop me a comment down below just to say hello or to give me your thoughts on the video. So you guys know Ted's a combat athlete. We had a pull last week, and so we've had to go really, really easy on everything. He pulled his adductor, no bruising, no swelling, but it hurt, and he did it on a top set of squats. He did it on the very first rep on a weight that was 30 pounds lighter than we had squatted the week before. We had no warning going into it. It's one of those things where I remind him he does lots and lots and lots of rolling, lots of fighting. So we're doing hours of BJJ every week, plus his boxing. So I have to remind him we have to keep volumes mitigated and slowly getting him to come around to that. I mean, we took his volumes down and he got stronger from where he was. So again, keep letting him know. The gains are definitely there. So we switched over to conjugate now. We're doing a 4-day, and then I'm letting him have an extra day in the middle of the week to where we do a little bit of extra back work, some explosive work, a little arm work, like a little bicep work, because he doesn't like to only train 4 days. He wants to be in the gym 5 to 6. And I've kind of told him 5 is really our limit. So as you guys saw for max effort day, he does all his pressing closed grip. So we did a closed grip bench max. And I'm aware his bench isn't crazy strong. Like he overhead pressed 200 pounds strictly the other day. You've seen him squat 405, Yep. But he doesn't care as much about the bench. And we only close grip at this point for him because it works for our goals for fighting. So we skipped the max effort lower this week. So if you guys saw, we did flat bench, close grip, and then we did rep work on it, and then we did incline. We do triceps and overhead press on max effort upper day. Then we have this explosive day in the middle of the week, so I'll let him do seal rows. We do some snatch grip high pulls, do weighted chins, right? Do some reverse hypers. So we also use it as an excuse to get in, do extra reverse hypers, which we like for his lower back because we need to bring all that up. That is limiting him on things like deadlifts. And if it's limiting us on deadlifts, it's limiting us in fighting. So again, this is what we've done is have that 4th day in the middle of the week. So you're seeing just the end of this. And of course, then I have him do reverse hypers. We've increased the weight on these this week. I feel like, again, he can handle more weight, more volume on this. So I want to continue to push those reverse hypers up because there's something that's going to benefit him tremendously, right? Because we still need to bring his good mornings up. And he's working now with about right around 200 pounds for 10 reps, in that range. And I've told him, for your long-term goals, we need that closer to 300, we want to see that close to 300 for 10. So we're going to keep pushing that up, but then we use things like the reverse hypers to build that. So we went ahead and did the speed days as programmed, though, for the week. So again, stuff's just going to change on these. I don't know for all my conjugate people, I don't always like to put all the sheets up. We're doing conjugate, guys. You guys can look and see what lifts and stuff they're doing through here. You can see the maxes. Like I said, we skipped max effort lower while we're letting things recover, but then we did speed bench, right? So speed bench for him, we're running around 50% of his max. We're doing 10 triples with 30 seconds between. So you'll see a couple of them here. And I'm having to split that up because he is doing all his speed work. It's just one set. He just turns the camera on. But then we see how long it takes for the full work. So that's good. Lets us know what's happening there, what his breaks are like. But then I have to chop it down for the vlog. Otherwise, you're going to have 10 minutes of sitting there, 9 minutes doing 10 sets of speed bench. Afterwards, of course, we do incline, we do overhead pressing, we do some tricep work on that day. Sometimes we'll do a little bit of extra back work. So on a lot of his days, I'm gonna work in more and more of just doing more back work on all those days. Because again, he likes having it in there. He's asked if he could have 2 days of chins this coming week in the rotation. So I'm gonna put them in there for him. I'm gonna let him have them, right? Coach is cool with that. Just got to make sure we don't have overuse. And then, of course, we have the dynamic lower day. And he skipped on some of the quad work for this time. He's just going to let it heal. But we still did speed boxes. So we did speed pulls. We did singles on those. So, again, right at around 50% of his max for 10 singles. And then, of course, for speed boxes, we do 50% max for 10 doubles. And that's what I have him doing right now in the rotation. We're going to work in, obviously, sumo. He prefers sumo over conventional, but we wanted to work that conventional up. Being a fighter, We will, of course, work sumo speed pulls in. I feel like those are very beneficial for any sort of contact sport. They're beneficial for any sort of fighter. And I feel like plenty of coaches have explained why out there already. I don't always need to reiterate that. I probably can. I can make some videos on that. I do feel that's a topic that's been covered pretty significantly and extensively, though, by conjugate coaches who work with fighters. And I happen to agree. It's been my own experience as a coach that they are right. And they do benefit from it. But pretty much for anyone who's in a contact sport, right? But we still rotate them around. I like to rotate the sumo and conventional for my people unless they have a reason they can't do one of them, right? So for conjugate work, I like to rotate sumo and conventional back and forth for speed work. So again, the speed boxes, same situation, 10 doubles, 30 seconds, around 30 seconds between. And his timing in the video is just about right. I think that clip was about 10 minutes. So that's right about what I expect to see, which means a set every minute on the minute, taking 30 seconds between getting set up each time. And if we can tighten that down, we tighten that down a little bit. But again, setup takes time. Right? You got to take a breather between just a moment, and then you jump back into the next set. So times it requires us to reset up and everything. And then, of course, he finished up with a bunch of good mornings, which always going to be, for my conjugate people, man, I push the good morning all the time. And especially after speed work, if we do nothing else after dynamic work, we're going to do good mornings. Like if I have someone who's in a hurry, like, Coach, I only have time for one accessory on that dynamic day after all the squats and deadlifts, we're going to do good mornings. And for him, I'm going to push them up. You guys know how I feel about this lift. Of course, for him, the good morning, because he grapples, doing the BJJ. We'll mess around with different bars. I'll mess with the SSB some. I used the SSB for these this week myself for my rep work. I've still got him on the cambered bar here because we're making good progress on it. When it starts to stall, right, I'll rotate bars. But definitely for anyone who grapples, good mornings with that safety squat bar is a very sport-specific thing. It's very beneficial. So again, we will eventually work some of that in, maybe work in some neck harness work and things to, again, just build all of that stuff up, build up everything that we need there, right? Because that's what we want. We need to get that neck strong. We need those traps strong. But overall, pretty happy with this week's work. We're getting him into the flow of this. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.